So welcome back guys to this section of our bradyarrhythmias. In this we will be dealing with the heart blocks. We know that we have a beat that generates from our SA node, and from the SA node it will come onto the AV node, and later on it will pass on into the ventricle. So when it comes from the atria, what we have is, when the beat is reaching to this AV node, we have the formation of the P wave. Later on it takes some time in the AV node, so there is a AV nodal delay which causes the PR interval, and which will be followed by, when this beat goes into the ventricle, which will be followed by a QRS complex. So you have the P wave, you have the AV nodal PR interval, and we have the QRS complex. So what happens in this heart blocks is that a normal beat comes from the SA node, forms a P wave. A normal beat comes from the SA node, it arises in the SA node, forms the P wave, then it comes into the AV node, and in the AV node it goes through a delay and later on comes out as the QRS complex. So this AV nodal delay that is occurring, the SA node and the AV nodal delay that is occurring, this gives rise to the different types of heart blocks, or different degrees of heart block. You have the first degree, second degree, and the third degree of heart blocks that are very important. So what we need to understand is that, guys, in the first case the ECG will look like this. You have the P wave, you have the normal PR interval, and you have the QRS complex. So you have the P wave, you have the QRS complex, and you have the T wave. Here the PR interval is normal, and in heart blocks the major problem is occurring at the AV node. So you have a P wave and there is a delay that is occurring in the AV node, and because of this what we have is that the person is having a PR prolongation. You have a PR prolongation, and this PR prolongation gives rise to the beat, or gives rise to the different types of heart blocks. So we also need to understand there are certain drugs that can give rise to, there are certain drugs that cause AV nodal delay, or that block the AV node or slow down the AV node. So what are these drugs? Number one, it is adenosine. You have the calcium channel blockers, you have the beta blockers, and you have digitalis. So they are amongst the important reasons of the generation of heart blocks. So as far as heart blocks are concerned, they are divided into three major degrees. So you have the first degree heart block, you have the second degree heart block, and you have the third degree heart block. So you have first degree, you have second degree, and you have the third degree heart block. What happens in the first degree heart block? It is also called as first degree AV block, or a second degree AV block, and a third degree AV block. The most important thing that we have to understand about these three, many times they become a bit confusing, but it's very simple to understand. Remember guys, in first degree heart block no beat is dropped. So every beat coming from the SA node will be conducted to the ventricles. There will only be a delay in the AV node. Every beat will get conducted, no beat will get dropped. As far as third degree heart block is concerned, no beat is transmitted, every beat is blocked, no beat is conducted, no beat is conducted, every beat is blocked. And here there is beat is dropped, and the dropping of the beat is different. We will see how it is different, but first move on to the first degree hard block or first degree AB block where no beat is getting dropped. So we'll just have this ladder diagram where this is the beat coming from the SA node. You have the P wave, it comes, it enters into the AV node and comes out of the AV node. So you have a P wave and you have a QRS complex for that P wave. So what happens in first degree hard block is that instead of this normal, there will be a delay in the AV node. So you have a P wave and you have a QRS wave, but there will be a lot of time taken for the beat to travel from the AV node. So there is an AV nodal delay. This will cause PR prolongation. So you have a P wave, then again you have this P wave coming out as the QRS complex. So you have P wave and you have the QRS complex, and as a result of that, what happens is there is a PR prolongation. PR prolongation. How much is this prolongation? Generally greater than 120 millisecond. But remember guys that this PR prolongation is constant. It's a constant PR interval prolongation. There is no fluctuation in the PR interval that is there. Now coming to the third degree hard block. Third degree hard block, we have seen that no beat is getting conducted, and as a result of that, what you have is you have the again the same ladder diagram. You have the P wave, it comes and no beat gets out. So there is no beat. So you have P wave and you have P wave and no beat is coming out. So you have P wave and no beat is coming out. Obviously there will be a new pacemaker that will generate over here, or maybe, and this will give rise to a QRS complex. So what will happen is, what we say is that there is a P wave, there is a P wave that is independent of the QRS complex. That is independent of QRS complex, independent of QRS complex, and this is what is called as the AV dissociation. AV dissociation. Obviously in this case guys, as we are having a QRS complex that is there, and this QRS complex is basically arising from the ventricles, that is why this will be a broad QRS. This will be a broad bizarre QRS that is there, and generally the new pacemaker, in the ventricles guys, it arises from the His bundle, in the His bundle, and the rate will generally be 40 beats per minute. 40 beats per minute. The rate will be 40 beats per minute. So this is what we call as the third degree hard block. So what we have seen the first degree hard block, but every beat is conducted. Third degree hard block, no beat is conducted. Now we come to the second degree hard block, where there is a block and there is a dropping of the beat. Now this second degree hard block is again further classified depending upon how the beats are getting dropped into two major categories. The first one is what we call as Mobius type 1. Mobius type 1. This is not first degree hard block guys. This is second degree hard block Mobius type 1, and this is also called as Winke-Back phenomena. called as Vinke-Bach phenomena. What happens in this Vinke-Bach phenomena? What you have is that you are having a P wave that is originating, it comes into the AV node, it gets out as the QRS complex. So you have a P wave and you have a QRS complex, right? Then the next beat will come, there will be a delay followed by a QRS complex. Then the next beat will come, the delay in the AV node will increase more, but the QRS complex will be given out. Then the next beat will come, the delay will be much more, followed by the QRS complex. And finally what happens, that one of the beat, it comes from the atria, goes into the AV node, but it doesn't come out. So there will be a dropping of the beat. Dropping of the beat. So what happens in this case is that there is a progressive prolongation of the PR interval. Progressive prolongation of the PR interval, and then a beat drops. Then a beat drops, and this is what is called as the Vinke-Bach phenomena. This is Mobius type 1 second degree heart block. The second one is what we call as Mobius type 2. Second one is what we call as the Mobius type 2 heart block. In this, there is no constant, there is dropping of QRS. Dropping of QRS is there, but no constant dropping, it's a variable dropping. No constant dropping. So sometimes it will drop after 2 beats, sometimes it will drop after 3 beats, sometimes it will drop after 1 beat, then it might again drop after 10 beats. So it is a no constant dropping, but the PR interval is constant. PR interval is constant. So remember this nicely, guys. There is one type of a heart block in which the PR interval is constant. It is Mobius type 2 second degree heart block, and depending upon how much beats are transmitted, sometimes it can be a 2:1 ratio or a 3:1 ratio, and this is what is called as fixed block. Fixed block. And finally, how the patient presents, the patient will be presenting with different symptoms in the form of pre-systolic triple rhythm, a pre-systolic triple rhythm, or the patient will be having an S1 with a decreased intensity. Obviously there is a heart block, so A wave will be prominent in JVP. If there is a complete third degree complete heart block, it's a complete heart block or a third degree heart block, then this can give rise to AV dissociation, giving rise to Canon A waves on JVP. Canon A waves on the JVP. Plus the patient will be having increased stroke volume, because there is more time that is there in the diastole because of the ventricular rate that becomes low. So you have increased stroke volume, and because of this increased stroke volume, the patient may have different symptoms in the form of uncomfortable awareness of the heartbeat. uncomfortable awareness of the heartbeat. There will be a wide pulse pressure. There will be a wide pulse pressure. There will be cardiac enlargement. There will be a cardiac enlargement. So there will be a cardiac enlargement, and finally the treatment option that is available. Obviously the drug of choice for the treatment of heart block is atropine. Atropine is basically a vagolytic. Atropine is a vagolytic drug, but remember guys that atropine is, we have to avoid atropine in third degree heart block. Avoid atropine in third degree heart block. In third degree heart block you go for the pacing. And finally, apart from the atropine, the other important group of drug that is available with us is isoprenaline. Isoprenaline is a catecholamine. If the patient is unable to be managed by drug, or for the resistant cases or a third degree heart block, the treatment of choice is pacing. Treatment of choice is pacing or implantable pacemakers. Where do we implant the pacemaker? Pacemaker is implanted in the area beneath the skin and pectoralis. Skin and the pectoralis major muscle guys. You put the probe, and probe is sent through the subclavian vein. Through the subclavian vein you put the probe, and depending upon where you put the probe, it is, the pacemakers are of what you call as a single chamber or you have a dual chamber, or you have a pacemaker that is put or biventricular. And when you put the probe for the pacing is put through the subclavian vein, and the pacemaker is put on the skin, beneath the skin and the pectoralis major muscle. That is what is all about the heart blocks and the management of heart blocks. Thank you very much.